Events are a major part of the comic book industry. Marvel, DC, and other publishers pump out multiple a year. And even though it can kind of be tiring because of the sheer amount of events that are pumped out each year, it would even be worse if events didn't happen at all. And for around 50 years, that was the case for comic book fans. It was only until 1984 when the first event changed the comic book industry on a massive scale. And it was Jim Shooter's Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. My name is Joshua C., and today we're going to talk about Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, how it came to be, and its impact on the comic book industry. Let's dive in, shall we? Marvel Superhero Secret Wars was a 12-issue limited series published by Marvel Comics. But the story actually starts with their rival company, DC. See, Kenner Toys, a toy company widely known for their Star Wars toy lines, but the company is now dead, wanted to license DC Comics' characters. This was for a superhero toy line they were planning to create. Mattel, their rival toy company, who's now famous for creating Barbie dolls, saw this and got a license for making Marvel comic book action figures. Mattel didn't just want a license for making superhero toys though. They also wanted Marvel to publish a limited series to help advertise their toys. Jim Shooter, the editor-in-chief of Marvel at the time, suggested the idea for the comic book. He got it from the constant fan mail every single day, and this was a gathering with all of Marvel's best superheroes in one comic book, which was very rare at the time, and this was the first of its kind. I just heard a lizard in this room, so if there's anything in the background, that's probably the lizard. Jim Shooter decided that he would write the comic himself because the writers at the time were very possessive about their characters, which made crossovers very difficult at the time. So to make things less bloody, Jim Shooter decided to write Secret Wars. The name of the comic was actually given by Mattel because their research groups found out that the two words that kids reacted positively to were the words war and secret. And that's how Marvel Superhero Secret Wars got its name. He assembled a creative team of artists and they went to work. Jim Shooter stated in his article on the subject, which I will link down below, that he had a pretty hard time writing this book since there were so many characters and he had to make sure each one of them was done right. And in the end, he was able to keep the continuity tight and better than some other people today. Bendis, what was supposed to be just a 12-issue long advertisement turned out to be one of the best comics at the time and was the best-selling comic book series Marvel had in 25 years. That is crazy. There were a lot of reasons this comic sold well, but the main reason was the marketing. Through the line of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars toys, which were very successful, the kids at the time who were buying these toys were aware of this comic and probably bought it. Another factor of its success was because this was the first time that this huge amount of superheroes were in one comic. The comic itself is also pretty good. It had wonderful and colorful art, and the story was simple but still pretty amazing. I'm not going to tell you guys much because I would like you to read it for yourself, but if I did tell you, it would take about an hour. It's super long and thick, and I don't want to edit 1 hour of video. The basic story is that the Beyonder, an all-powerful being, gathers Earth's mightiest heroes and villains and teleports them without their consent to a planet called Battleworld, and tells them to battle each other, and whoever wins will get what they desire. Even though the story is pretty simple, a lot happens, and in the end, there were a lot of changes to the Marvel Universe. The comic introduced new characters, both good and bad, with some other changes, like Ben quitting the Fantastic Four for a while She-Hulk fills his role. This story also introduced Spider-Man's new and sick black costume. That's just a part of it. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars proved that this kind of comic could not only work with the amount of heroes put into one story and could sell well, but also proved that these events could be done on a frequent basis and can be used as a tool for introducing new characters, exploring new worlds, making changes in the universe and its characters, and revealing the universe's secrets. Soon after this comic book was over, this story became a blueprint for events and other comics to come. And because of its huge impact on the comic book industry, its amazing story and art, I can definitely consider this comic to be a marvel. If it weren't for some events, no pun intended, that led into the making of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, the practice of events might have come into fruition much later, and might even not exist at all. Which brings up the question, are we taking events for granted? People always complain about the problems with our current events, and most of the time, I do that too. But through research, I think we should stop complaining and start being happy, because we might live in a reality where events might not even exist. And that would be a pretty sad reality. Anyway, do you think we should stop complaining and at least be content that these large amounts of characters can meet annually? Or not, maybe like every 6 months, so that's, I don't know what you call that. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Leave all of those in the comments. Also, I want to know what are your opinions on Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. Did you like it? Have you read it? If you didn't, you should probably go read it. I read it, and I normally don't like reading old stuff, but for some reason I finished this, so it means it's pretty good, at least for my standards. Anyway, if you liked this video, press that like button. If you don't, leave a dislike if you want to. Doesn't really affect me, just means I need to improve more. I tried to make this comic book event video in the beginning of the year, and I just didn't, and then now I came back to it, and I looked at the previous script, and it was terrible. I'm happy I didn't make it in the beginning of this year. Anyway, if you want to see more videos in the future, please subscribe and tap the notification bell to receive a notification whenever I publish a new video. Anyway, my name is Joshua, and I will see you in the next comic book video.